discuss laws of thermodynamics in this class. Zeroth law, first law and second law. Zeroth law of thermodynamics defines temperature actually. So it talks about thermal equilibrium, let me take three bodies A, B and C. And it states that if A and C are in thermal equilibrium, B, C are in thermal equilibrium, then A and B will also be in thermal equilibrium. When we say A and C are in thermal equilibrium, it means they are separated by a medium which allows heat transfer. They are in contact, or we call it a diathermic wall through which heat can be transferred. Adiabatic wall on the other hand is a wall through which the heat transfer is not possible. So when we are saying thermal equilibrium, it means there is no heat transfer between them when they are in contact. So A and C in thermal equilibrium means there is no heat transfer between A and C when they are in contact or separated by a diathermic wall. Similarly, if B and C are in thermal equilibrium, then A and B, if kept in contact or separated by a diathermic wall, will also be in thermal equilibrium. This is the zeroth law. It actually tells us about a quantity which is same for two bodies in contact and in thermal equilibrium. We call it temperature. So when two bodies are in thermal equilibrium means when they are in contact and there is no heat transfer between them. Though there is a provision for heat transfer. So they are not separated by insulating wall. So when there is no heat transfer between the two bodies, it means there is some quantity which is same for both. Equilibrium means that only. And that quantity here is defined as temperature. We call it temperature. First law of thermodynamics is actually a statement of conservation of energy. I'm giving you an example. Say if I take gas in a cylinder and the cylinder is fitted with a piston and I heat this, then we are supplying heat energy. What are the possibilities? How is this heat energy used? To increase the temperature, to increase the energy of the molecules, and in pushing this piston up. So heat energy supplied the total heat energy given to a system is used to increase the internal energy of the gas or the system, plus in doing work against the external pressure. Now let me talk separately about the internal energy and work done by a system. Internal energy of any system, it is actually the sum of potential energy and kinetic energy. Kinetic energy is due to the motion of molecules. If you are taking a gas, the kinetic energy of the molecules, that is actually the internal energy. Apart from it, potential energy. Potential energy is due to the intermolecular forces. There is always a force associated with potential energy. So if we are taking an ideal gas, we take one assumption in ideal gas that the intermolecular forces are absent. So I can say that for an ideal gas, the internal energy is only kinetic, and this depends on temperature. So for an ideal gas, the internal energy depends only on temperature. So internal energy of a system, sum of potential and kinetic, potential because of intermolecular forces, kinetic because of the motion of the molecules, and not necessarily translation. It may be vibrational, rotational also. Okay, so this is internal. One more very important fact about internal energy is that if we have a system, say for example, having these coordinates P, V, T, and then we take it to some other state described by some other variables, and then we bring it back, then change in internal energy is zero. We call such process cyclic process, in which at the end we are coming back to the initial state. Same variables are used to describe the system, the state. So in this case, change in internal energy is zero, or we can say internal energy is a state function. If you are coming back to the same state, change in internal energy is zero. This is unlike work. So it's a state function. Coming back to the same state, same value of internal energy. Work done, we have already done it, that it is calculated by using this integral KdV. And if we have a graph between P and V, then we know how to calculate, how to evaluate this integral product of two quantities where one is a function of the other. It is through the integration, and here graphically it comes through the area of this graph. So it will always be a path function. Means I am taking this system from this state to this through this path. This is the work done. If I take it through this path, then the work done will be different. If I take it through this path, the work done will be different. So it's always a path function. Work done, path function, internal energy, state function. Some other important points about this law is, firstly, it is quite obvious from here that this is a statement of conservation of energy. So that's the significance of this. It is just a statement of conservation of energy. Secondly, it also tells us about the internal energy state function. If the process is cyclic, du comes out to be 0, or we can say dq is dw. Another very important conclusions that can be drawn from this is that heat and work done, they can be converted, they are interconvertible. Work can be converted to energy, energy can be converted to work. Heat and work. So conservation of energy, secondly state function, and third about the interconversion of work and heat energy. But there are certain limitations also of this. Firstly, it is telling us about the conservation of energy, but it does not tell us whether the process is possible or not. So it tells in any process the energy is conserved, but does not tell us whether the process is possible or not. There are many processes in nature which never occur, though we can justify them on the basis of the conservation of energy. For example, if we keep ice cubes in a room which is at higher temperature than the temperature of the ice cubes melts. And on the basis of conservation of energy, we can say the ice cubes, they are taking energy, the energy of the room decreases by that amount, and the energy of the ice cube increases by that amount. If I keep water in the room, it does not freeze itself. Though on the basis of conservation of energy, we can again say that this water will give out energy, energy will decrease, so it will freeze. Energy can be conserved in this way also, but this never happens. Heat always flows from a body at higher temperature to a body at lower temperature, but this does not deny it. So it does not tell whether the process is possible or not. Another very important point, it tells that heat can be converted to work, work can be converted to heat. But again does not tell whether this conversion is possible 100% or not. In one way it's possible, in another way it's not possible actually, it has been observed. Work can be converted to heat, but 100% conversion of heat into work is not possible. So these are the limitations of first law of thermodynamics. Second law is generalization of experiences. What does it mean? Whatever limitations we have done in the first law, in a way, they form the basis of the second law. Generalization of experiences, certain processes never occur in nature. The second law basically has two statements. Firstly, conversion of heat into work. It's not possible to convert 100% of heat energy into work. That is one way of stating the second law of thermodynamics. Another way is, there are certain processes which never occur in nature. No such process occur in which the heat is transferred from a body at lower temperature to a body at higher temperature. So transfer of heat from low temperature to high temperature. These processes don't occur in nature. If we want this to happen, we have to provide some external energy. Itself, it's not possible. One statement was given by Kelvin, another by Clausius, but no need to learn those statements as such. This is the essence of that. Actually, they have also been defined in terms of the efficiency of heat engine and refrigerator. 100% efficient heat engine is not possible, and same way 100% efficient refrigerator is also not possible. It's not possible to convert 100% of heat into work, and in nature those processes never occur in which heat is transferred from a body at lower temperature to a body at high temperature. So that's enough. Thank you.